Welcome back for another episode with your favorite project lead the way teacher, Mr. Spaeth. Today we're going to be working on the Automoblocks Axle from the 5.5a CAD modeling features worksheet from Project Lead the Way, IED, Introduction to Engineering Design. So let me share my screen with you and we can get started. So right off the bat, what I want to tell you is that this part's tough. And there are a lot of dimensions here and this looks crazy. Okay, so let's just go ahead and read what they want us to do. So create a 3D solid model of an axle using the revolve tool. So we're going to revolve this. It wouldn't make sense to extrude all of it. Use your measurements or the dimension drawing below. We're going to use the dimension drawing below. And then we're going to cut this little slot in it on both sides. You'll find it very easy to do that, actually. And we won't use the mirror tool to make the second cut. We're actually just going to make the whole cut right away. Okay, so this is what we are doing here. We are only sketching half of this top half, and using the revolve tool to revolve 360 degrees. We are going to put this, now notice this is not a construction line anymore, this is a center line, and you'll notice when I dimension with the center line, we're going to have not radiuses, but diameters show up. That can be really easy. That can be really nice. So let's see how this goes. First of all, I'm just going to approximate how this looks. So 0.33 is probably the first thing that I'm going to do. So I'm just going to go File, New, Mesmer Part File. I'm going to start a sketch here. I'm starting from the middle, so I go up, I don't even know how much, but we go over 0.33. Don't worry about how much you go up here. We'll figure that out later. We could be down here, could be up here. Doesn't matter. That 0.33 is where we want to start. So that right there, that's the line. Now I want to go up a little bit, over, up. So let's just approximate those. We will fill in the dimensions as we go. So just getting a mental picture again. Okay, so I'm going to stop right there. And the reason I stop right there, if you look, let me just zoom in on this. This line right here is slanted. Very, very shallow slant. So I want to end there, and I want to go back around this side, and I want to end here so that I can put this slant in last. That's the last thing I want to do. Okay, those slants they can be easily screwed up, so I want it to be the last thing I do. I want to get this point perfect, and this point perfect, and then put the line in. Okay, so I have this top over here. I'm going to come back around. I'm going to go over this way, up, over, up, over, up. Let's do that right away. So over, up, over, up, over, up. And then let's see, I need a couple more, right? So then I'm just going to go over and then down a little bit. And then I'm going to stop and start putting dimensions in. So I'm just going to zoom in, over, and then down. Okay. All right, so here it is. You can barely see it, right? But this is what I need to dimension. But first, I want to put in my center line. Okay, that's the line right there. My center line is going to be basically my x-axis at this point. So I'm just going to grab, I can actually snap right there. I'm going to snap right there. Click, right click and go OK, click off of it. And then highlight it, right click and go center line, not construction line now, but a center line. Very important that we specify that. Okay, so now we're going to dimension because we have a couple of really good dimensions here. You notice up to this line, it says a diameter of 0.19. So notice what happens when I pick the center line and that line, I can go 0.19. Oops, and I did not want my center line to move. I wanted everything else to move. So I'm going to undo that. And what do you use when you don't want something to move? But the fix constraint. So that is fixed. And then I go 0.19. You'll notice it moved the other line, not the center line this time. So notice it's pointing to nothing down here. Like I said, we are only making the top half. We are not making the bottom. But we know we have the 0.19 done. We have the 0.33. We need to go up. Well, this line tells us up here is 0.25 diameter from that center line. So let's do that again. Dimension center line up here, 0.25. Okay, good. We went over this way, 0.05. So let's grab a dimension. Just say 0.05. And then I bet we have this one. And it's supposed to be right here, 0.29. Again, that's a diameter. And these are all diameter markings. But because we put that center line in, we get diameter markings. Okay, let's move some of these dimensions around so they don't get confusing, or so that it at least looks like our picture. Okay, good, we have that one. And now we really don't have how long this is, and that's okay because it's whatever all these others are, add them up, and then 0.88 minus all these other ones is this length. So we can just stop on this side altogether. Let's go over to the other side. And we know that we have a 0.19 diameter. So we are going to grab, again, a dimension, go right here up to here, and just go 0.19. There that is. And I bet we have this one as well. That one is 0.25. And I bet we have this one too. Yep, 0.30. Okay, excellent. We just need to know how long this line is right there. So it tells us up here, right there, there's going to be 0.19. I don't know why they drag it all the way up there, but they do. What else do we know? It's okay if it doesn't look like it right now. That's all right. So from this point all the way to the end is 0.25. So that would be this one right here, 0.25. Okay, and then let's raise this up a little bit. Oh, I can't. I need to actually lift this up right here. Okay. So again, we're just trying to make it look like our picture. And then this little nub over here, this distance is 0.05, just like it was over here. The dimension right here, 0.05, and we were pretty close on that already. Some other ones that we have not done yet, 0.88 from this end all the way to that end. So from here all the way to here, 0.88. Okay. Notice these are probably wrong up there, and that's okay. You can always pull those over if they don't look right. So which ones are we missing now? We know that this length is 0.07. So we can grab that. 0.07. Okay, what else are we missing? I think we're doing okay. All right. So we have these two that should be lined up perfectly. This point should be lined up with that point. So that's something I don't have. Notice this point should be lined up perfectly with that one. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to use a vertical constraint. Oops. I just want to click off anything right now, so I'm just going to click Escape. Vertical, I'm going to go this point to that point. Notice how that moved everything over. Okay. And now we need, I believe it's one more dimension over here, this 0.4. So 0.4 from this top to the center line. The dimension right here to that top. Make that 0.4. You have almost everything the way it should be, except this one. This little guy is going straight up instead of down. So let's move this and move that. And I don't want that going up. I want it going down. So I just dragged it. I clicked the point on it and I just dragged it. Okay, so what we need now is this line going down here. You'll notice there is a parallel line that goes here, and it's the same as 0.30. That's really tricky. So this 0.30 runs to the top of this line, which also runs to that point, and we need to dimension it separately. So dimension tool, this point, this line, I'm going to bring it all the way over here, 0.3. Enter. Now you notice we have the exact length of that line there. And we have this 0.01, which is, if we zoom way in here just to see it, that 0.01 is the distance from this top line here down to where this point meets over here. So that's 0.01. That's a really tough one to dimension. We need to zoom way in. So I'm going to go and zoom way in. Here it is. I'm just going to go up like that and go 0.01. Now I have this point specified, distance, and this one. Now I can just grab a line, click here, click there, and now I have that angle perfect. Okay, so let me just raise this up. Raise this up. I'm just trying to make it look exactly like our picture, or at least a bit more like our picture. I know it's not perfect, but there we are. Okay, so we're going to go finish sketch, revolve. It found it. It found our axis. Because we used a center line, it found our axis line right away. And then we are revolving this 360 degrees, so that's full. Then okay. So there we are. Where is the side that we need to put the... I'm just going to back out now. One more thing, we need to put this little slant in there. That would be from this side, from the slanted side. So right here, what we are going to do is we're going to look at this side right here. We're going to start a sketch on this surface right there. And we are going to make a rectangle. It goes like this. Okay. But we also need to know the center point. So I'm going to grab from the origin. I'm going to push it on up. This is just going to be my center point. So again, I'm going to right click it, make it a center line. Okay. So that I can center my rectangle on this center line. Okay. I like to use the symmetric constraint. I click one side, click the other side, click the center line, and notice it centers my rectangle right on it. Very, very handy. Let's see. We have 0.04 is the width of that little slot. So I'm going to go right here and go 0.04, and notice it's still centered. And then I want to cut this slot. I'm just going to bring this line. It's escaping because I grabbed the wrong thing. I'm going to bring this line. I'm going to lift it up. I'm just going to lift it all the way out of my picture here, right there. And bring this one down right there. Okay. I'm going to finish. Notice where it is. And I'm going to extrude, cut, to a distance of, and it's right in my picture, point 0.2. Point 0.2. Okay. So there it is. We're all done. If you do have any questions, this one is a pain in the butt to get that first extrusion, or that first revolution down. That sketch is really, really tough. But once you have it, and if you've followed along with me, and if you have any problems, please ask your teacher so that he or she can help you out. All right. Thank you very much.